Welcome. We'd like to walk you through some proposed changes to our Family Faith Formation program. Why the change? Well, we really wanted to increase the Mass participation, especially at our regular Masses. Like imagine pews with actual teens and children in them. This is our current schedule. Faith Formation, including our adult classes, meet after the St. Clare 9:30 a.m. Mass and again after the 6 p.m. Mass. This doesn't include our Wednesday class, which will not be affected. So now we're asking, what if we tweak the timing just enough to make Mass feel less like maybe and more like a must go? Right now, Sunday evening sessions at St. Thomas are not drawing the numbers we'd hoped for, either to class or to Mass. That makes it hard to build a sense of community and makes scheduling a little more difficult for everyone involved, families, catechists, and staff. And not to mention, we have catechists who take time out of their Sunday evenings to show up and teach a class that is not showing up. Turns out there are patterns: dinner hour clashes, homework guilt, post-weekend exhaustion, and yes, Packer games. Jesus and football have been double booked. Grade school kids are already halfway into their jammies Sunday evening. And again, Packers, if there's even a rumor of a game, it's like the rapture of students gone. This is all according to our very scientific attendance records. So our goal is to create a program that's vibrant, better attended, and more sustainable by encouraging fuller participation in both class and Mass. How were these proposals shaped? They're the result of thoughtful collaboration among staff, catechists, and myself. Hang tight while I run through the proposals. Proposal 1, nothing's changed. 9:30 a.m. Mass at St. Clare, 10:30 a.m. class. But what happens if we moved the evening class on that same Sunday to 12:15 to 1:15 after the 11:15 a.m. Mass? Will it work? Will they stay? Will anyone bring snacks? Stay tuned. If we go with this class doesn't end until 1:15, is that too late? Do we need to serve lunch? Could we send them off to class with a granola bar in their Bible? Let's be honest, by 1:15 half the day is gone. Then we thought proposal 2, let's get strategic. Have class first at St. Clare, 8:30 a.m., then head to the 9:30 a.m. Mass. Then over to St. Thomas. Let's flip it too. Class at 10 a.m. followed by Mass. Genius, right? Problem solved? Not quite. Because now we're asking people to show up bright and early when their brains are still booting up and kids are possibly wearing pajamas under their jackets. And spoiler alert, pre-Mass energy, ask any catechist. It's a whole different species from post-Mass calm. Plus, will families adjust? Will teachers be awake? Will coffee be strong enough? Stay tuned for proposal 3. Maybe we just do an earlier class at only St. Thomas before Mass. What if we moved all the high school students over to St. Thomas and kept the grade school classes at both St. Clare and St. Thomas? It's got potential, it's bold, it's logistically possible, but here's the thing again. When classes before Mass, the tendency is to peace out before Mass. Now, check out this proposal. Mass at St. Clare moves to 9 a.m. Okay, cool, but cue the domino effect. St. Thomas Mass bumps back to 7:30 a.m. from 8 a.m. Let's be real. If we move that 8 a.m. Mass to 7:30 a.m., you're in the early riser club already. You're up before the sun, already had coffee kind of people. That extra half hour, you'll probably enjoy it. But here's the thing. We still haven't touched the 11:15 a.m. St. Thomas Mass, which means, yes, we're still looking at 12:15 to 1:15 class logistics. Why that time doesn't work? Let's just say hangry people, fading energy. You know what would be better than religion class right now? Literally anything. Now here it is, the crowd favorite, proposal 5. What if we just change all the Mass times? Don't panic, stay with me. We start with a 7:30 a.m. Mass at St. Thomas. That makes room for the new 9 a.m. Mass at St. Clare. Then we shift the 11:15 Mass to 10:30 a.m., back where it once was, which means, wait, class at St. Thomas runs from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30. Doesn't cut too deeply into anyone's Sunday, keeps the day intact. It even leaves a little room for lunch and maybe a nap. And yes, technically, we might bump into a Packer kickoff now and then, but unless it's a high-profile game like the playoffs or something with Taylor Swift in the crowd, we could just take our chances there. But let's think about doing this. It's got potential. Look, the shared benefit, a vibrant youth presence at both parishes, regular Masses like actual young people at church on purpose. So a quick recap: by aligning the classes with the new regular Mass times, we're not just rearranging schedules, we're reviving Sunday, both St. Thomas and St. Clare, they get to see youth and families at their regular masses showing up for a liturgy and not just for snacks afterwards. It's win-win for parish life, visibility, and community spirit. So I don't know. What do you think? Change all the mass times? Could it work? Could we do this just temporarily, like a liturgical trial run? Dip our big toe in? Let's be honest. Sometimes you don't know until you try. And if it brings more life, more families, more children and teens, maybe it's worth seeing what happens when we change things up a bit. Let me know what you think. This could be wonderful.